So I'm Romeo Timothy Carey.
The world's greatest sinner.
The world's greatest sinner, I think it has a timeless quality. It has a timeless quality because these things, these unique moments that were captured in film, 50 years ago, because they were so unique, it still inspires a fresh moment.
I was so tired of what they call controversial. What they say is controversial. The studios, sex and violence, controversial.
Timothy Agolia Carey, iconoclastic wild man of Hollywood, passed away May 11, 94. This lonesome villain and character actor made his mark as Hollywood's outsider, as an insider in 75 films and 253 TV shows.
I'm not a preacher, and I'm not drunk. I'm just a politician. He hears me. Does anybody else hear me around here? There's the First Lady. Lady, I can make you live forever.
When you live in celluloid, you never die. And there's some truth to that. You know what I mean? You get to put it up any place, and it's a way of playing God.
Timothy Carey was such an unconventional person, and he was unconventional when he was doing work for other people. I mean, he was able to insert his own personality and his eccentricities like in his work that he was doing for like all these famous directors.
The synopsis is that average Joe, he's an insurance salesman who gets bored with the profession.
Yes, I wouldn't even bother taking out insurance policies on a funeral, dear. Because when you die, your body starts to stink. That's right. They'll give you a free burial. I wouldn't worry about nothing.
And he decides that there's something more to life. And he forms this little club, kind of like a political arena for him, calls it the Eternal Man Party. Somebody in the group says, hey, why don't you form a band? Good way to publicize the party. And it becomes a name, and that name basically starts calling the band as God. And so at the height of their celebrity in music, they then were visited by the devil.
You see, you're a dark horse. And I want to see what kind of a race you can run. And I have the know-how and the money to help you. Just get rid of your guitar, Clarence. Burn all these bridges behind you. And listen to what I say, and you'll really become a god.
In a way, it's paralleling like a Donald Trump, someone that you thought couldn't even enter the political arena, and now he's in it.
That the simple, plain people of this country, the flesh and blood of mankind, is the true God. Not in God we trust, but in superhuman being we trust.
All this celebrity and all this hubris goes to his head, so he has to go back to God to ask God if God is real and if everything he's built his whole life on, if it was worth it.
I defy you to show me if you're God. If you're better than I am, if you're more than I am, show me. Let me see what I mean to you.
That's the world's greatest sinner. Basically, at the end of it, it's challenging God. Are you for real? Are you really there? The biggest theater chains both conspired not to play it, and he knew it.
One big theater group told another theater, because they told me, they said, I just told Pacific Theaters, it was General Cinema, I remember, it was I just told them I'm not going to play it and they're not going to play it. Now, I had a choice then of either suing them, or not. And, I just didn't want to spend my life in litigation. I wanted to sue them many times because they were boycotting the theater, because I had people come up to me like Jack Nicholson and Hormel, the meatpacking hair son, and different people say, hey, this is incredible. This is a touch of genius. This is, but the theater owners refused to play it.
So that movie really never had an audience, never had a distribution, not until TCM.
there is a moment where you're like watching The World's Greatest Sinner and you're going, this guy is literally doing whatever he wants to do, for better or for worse, right? I'm so glad he did that because I've never seen something like that before. Like, I mean, that's the whole reason why people should continue to watch movies like this, and especially this film. For the network, I decided to play it because it had been so hard for me to see it. So I was like, wow, well, I'm sure there's probably many more people who want to see this movie. So yeah, that was really the reason why I wanted to play it for the network stuff. But also I think there was a lot of people there who actually had never seen it. So they were they had heard about it because it obviously has this reputation of being this crazy movie. And so people were like, couldn't wait to see it. And then when I was watching them watch it at one point and everybody was just like, what is going on?
And that was like the beauty of Timothy Carey. You never really knew what was going to happen, so your eyes were glued to him.
You're just like my mother. If I had more people like you, then my plan would triumph.
There's a scene in the movie where that scene where he's having kind of an emotional breakdown, and he's challenging God that if this thing bleeds, that he'll give up everything.
Almighty, I defy you. I defy you to show me if you're God. If you're better than I am, if you're more than I am, show me. Let me see what I mean to you. Show me if you're really a God.
And they racked it the wrong way. Anyway, he's all blurred out, and he's crying, but the tear turns into this blurred out tear, and it has this strange quality to the whole, and he locks on it. The whole scene is like blurry, but it's like a reflection of what's going on in real life. He was blurry. His vision was blurry. He was in a moment of blur. The year he passed away was in 1994. I got a call from the Munich Film Festival, and they said they're doing the big international film festival, and that your film was chosen by Martin Scorsese, who's in charge of the greatest rock and roll film selection for the festival. And so there I was on a plane going to Munich, and I had to make the rounds there. That was a nice piece of history that kind of started to put into place who he was and what he meant to the art world. Yeah, the most important thing to anybody at the end of life is your children. What did you give birth to, and what was your relationship to that? But to an artist, it goes beyond that. Of course, it's always going to be the human flesh, but to a true artist, it's the art of my contribution to society and what did I manage in my short period of time. And so I know my dad, beyond the shadow of a doubt, he conquered that mountain. And so he left the planet knowing that I did well. I wish I'd done more creative things with him. I wish I'd taken more, I'd taken the time to actually recognize that this is a relic that is, once it's gone, good luck. You're never going to resurrect any of this. Get it while it's still in the flesh. It's something most people do. They just kind of, I fail to get more content and moments of just blinding, scenes of Timothy Carey on this planet that I regret. That's my greatest regret. His greatest contribution and influence was what he did, and that should be everybody's greatest influence. My dad's greatest contribution was what he left behind, and his example of how he lived his life. And you learn from that too, because you know what not to do, if you're smart. They'd ask him once, you must take coke? He says, I am cocaine. Yeah, his last word to me was, get me a Perrier. Get me a Perrier.